I was in the police department for about 29 years. I spent 25 of those years policing in this community. I actually wanted to work in my own neighborhood because that's the community that I was concerned about. You know, in the culture of police, my people were continually disrespected. But I learned to love my job. I had to learn how to become a public servant because they taught me how to be a cop, but nothing about serving the public. I don't even recognize this place. I feel like a stranger walking around in here. When I grew up, there were a lot of black businesses in this community. There were barbershops, mechanic shops, tax offices, there were restaurants, Geneva's, Cleo's, Albina Real Estate, which sponsor our baseball league. They're now gone and they've been replaced by white businesses. It has totally been gentrified. My black community has been conditioned to participate in social justice, always towards the poor. It's always dependent on white benevolence, dependent on low income subsidies. All these projects, they get black people to support that because it sounds good, it makes them feel good, and it's an emotional response. But it's not sustainable. Being dependent on a system that was designed by the very people that oppress you, and then be dependent on them to show you mercy. Well, the result of that is that we no longer exist in our own community. Look around, we ain't here no more. The sons and daughters of slaves that own 1/2 of 1% of anything of value in this nation. These social service programs and stuff, they don't see the guy who has a job, how to capitalize and further expand his ability to be an influencer in his own community. We don't need any more social justice programs. We don't need any more inappropriate missionary white benevolence. What we need is capitalization to support black business. This is what builds a community. If you want social change, have economic empowerment. When you conduct business, you can create jobs for your own people. What Raimore is doing, Raimore Construction Company, we have a general contractor who is now sitting at the table to do infrastructure work. That's the capitalization that you need because we've been so fixated on responding to our oppressors. We trample over each other trying to get crumbs. There is an awakening to the significance of self-sufficiency economically. How are we going to decide to do business together? Are we going to take the model that's been given to us by corporate America, which is part of the oppressor system, or are we going to wake up to what the Father has revealed to us in the kingdom principle? The understanding that we care for one another, and we do that from an economic perspective. How are we going to negotiate doing business with one another and for one another and about one another and not feel guilty when we receive benefit from that? We have been taught to betray one another. We've sold each other out to sit at the table of our oppressors because we don't trust each other. We're accusing one another and we're pointing out who's betrayed us. But there's never been a sense of healing based on forgiveness. That we can come and say, look, we've all participated in our own betrayal. We need to forgive one another, restore one another. How are we going to serve one another? It can't just be on a personal level, or it just can't be social reform. It has to be the way we conduct business.